Hey everyone, welcome back to the deep dive. We're diving into something today, something that I think really hits home for anyone who, you know, loves learning and growing and building those connections. We're talking about family memories and, more specifically, how to hold on to them.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, think about it. Those everyday moments, the big milestones, they can just kind of disappear,
Yeah,
as life gets busy.
they really do. It's like, where did the time go?
Exactly. And we wanted to find a really tangible way to keep those memories alive, to build a legacy. So we've been looking into family memory journals,
Right.
which is like a really interesting contrast to how we live now, this digital world where photos and thoughts, they're kind of fleeting.
They really are. You take
Right.
a picture, it ends up in the cloud somewhere, you forget about it.
Let's scroll past it.
Yeah, you scroll past it. It doesn't have that same weight.
It doesn't, does it? It doesn't have that same like permanence.
For this deep dive, we've been checking out some resources from Listallion.
Oh yeah, Listallion, those guys make amazing journals.
They do. Like, they really put a lot of thought into them.
Like specifically for like recording your family's story. So for everyone listening, our goal today is to kind of figure out why these journals are so valuable.
Yeah, and how you can actually use one to preserve your own family's story.
Right. It's more than just writing stuff down, isn't it?
Definitely. It's about, like, having these tools that are actually designed for memory keeping. It's about, well, we'll get into that.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Okay. So let's start with the basics. Why should we, why is it so important to try and hold on to these family memories?
Well, if you think about it, your family, your own life, it's built on these shared experiences. Funny things that happen, traditions that you do, those big moments.
The little moments too. Right.
Even the small, ordinary days, those are important too.
Yeah, they all add up.
They make up your story, who you are as a family. And unfortunately, as time goes by, the details get fuzzy.
Oh, for sure.
It's like trying to remember, like, what you had for dinner 2 nights ago.
Oh, gosh, you can't even do that.
Right. And it's the same with memories. Eventually, those precious stories might be lost completely. And you've probably felt that. Like trying to remember something specific from years ago.
Oh, definitely. I mean, sometimes I struggle to remember even big events from my childhood. Like, I know it happened, but the details.
You're just gone.
Gone, yeah. That's where a handwritten journal, it just feels different.
Yeah.
Like, it has a power that just scrolling through photos on a screen doesn't.
I agree. It's not just seeing it, it's the act of writing it down that makes it more real.
Totally.
Like, digital stuff can feel kind of detached, but a handwritten journal, that's something tangible.
You can hold it.
Yeah, you can hold it. And it's personal. Writing in your own hand, it makes those memories have more weight, more emotion. And that's where, like, Listallion's focus on quality materials comes in. They use 120 GSM wood-free ivory paper. GSM, that's how they measure paper thickness and durability.
Right. They don't use just any paper. It's special.
Right. It's archival quality, so it doesn't fall apart.
Right.
So the higher the GSM, the less likely it is to, tear or yellow or degrade over time.
Okay, so it's a real record.
It is. Like, you're creating something that will last.
So for you, it's not just a diary. It's like a
Time capsule.
time capsule.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A place where you can put all those thoughts and feelings and those moments that matter.
Right, right. So a family memory journal, it gives you this dedicated space for reflection,
Yes.
for being thankful for the people in your life,
For appreciating them.
for celebrating all the good things,
Yeah.
big and small.
Exactly. I mean, it could be anything, like your kids' first steps, a funny thing your grandparents said, holiday traditions. It's all worth recording.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And it's a way to connect with the different generations in your family.
Yes. By sharing these stories, you're keeping those connections strong.
You talked about the quality of the journal itself. And Listallion really stresses this, right? So it's not just grabbing any old notebook.
Right. If you're serious about preserving those memories, you need a journal that can handle it. Listallion, they get that. You want something that can last for years, maybe even be passed down to your kids or grandkids.
Something that's going to hold up.
Exactly. You don't want the pages turning yellow and brittle or the ink fading away.
So if someone's like, okay, I'm ready to start a family memory journal, what should they look for? What are the key things based on what we know from Listallion and just, good practices?
Well, paper quality, that's huge. Listallion uses that 120 GSM paper, and that's important because it stops the ink from bleeding through.
Right, right.
And it helps prevent the writing from fading over time. And that's what you want. You want those memories to stay vivid. Then there's durability. You need a cover that can protect the journal from, just life happening.
Wear and tear.
Wear and tear, exactly. Stallion uses a soft faux leather cover, which is smart. It feels really nice when you hold it, but it's also tough. It protects those pages.
You want something that feels good and lasts. What about the way the journal is organized on the inside?
Organization.
Yeah.
That is key. If
Yeah.
you want to be able to find those memories later on, you need some sort of system.
Right, right.
And Stallion, they've got that figured out. They have numbered pages and a built-in table of contents. So, you can create an index of important events or recurring stories.
Okay, so you can keep track.
Exactly. And then, 10 years later, you can easily find that one specific memory you're looking for.
Makes sense.
They even thought to include a back pocket.
A pocket? What for?
For little things like photos, notes, ticket stubs, anything that relates to your entries. It's a nice way to add an extra dimension to those memories.
Oh, I love that. That's so smart, like a little treasure chest built in.
Exact.
But let's be honest, starting a family memory journal, it can be a little bit,
Daunting.
yeah, it's
So you
daunting.
feel like a lot.
What are some of the things that trip people up, like the roadblocks?
Well, first off, time. We're all busy. And carving out time to write, it can feel like just another thing on a to-do list that never ends.
Right, and it's easy to put it off.
Totally. Another thing is people might think, oh, my life's not that interesting. What am I going to write about? Or they just don't know where to start.
Writer's block.
Yeah, for memories. And then there's the elephant in the room, our phones, the internet. Those distractions are everywhere.
They're always there.
Yeah. So you sit down to write and then ping, notification. It's hard to stay focused.
It is. It is. And then there's that fear.
Of messing it up.
Yeah, like, oh, I don't write well enough, or what if I make a mistake? It can be paralyzing.
Oh, absolutely.
So we know the problems. What are the solutions?
Okay, so for the time thing, Stallion, they have a good suggestion. They say pick a specific time each week for journaling, even if it's just 15-20 minutes.
Like schedule it in.
Exactly. Put it in your calendar like any other appointment. It helps to make it a habit.
That makes sense.
And if you don't know what to write about, try using prompts. Stallion, they have a bunch of examples like, what was the happiest moment you had today? Simple stuff like that can get you going.
Okay, so prompts, little nudges. What about the distractions?
Keep the journal out in the open, like on your coffee table, your bedside table. It's a visual reminder. You see it, you think, oh yeah, I should write in that.
And I like that. Out of sight, out of mind.
Exactly.
And what about the fear of messing up?
This is the most important thing. Your family memory journal, it's not about perfect grammar, perfect writing. It's about capturing your family's story in your own voice. For you.
It's the memories that matter.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's get a little deeper here. How can journaling, especially as a family, really strengthen those bonds? Like, what's the impact?
When you journal together, or even just share what you've written, it opens up these opportunities to connect on a deeper level. Family members can share their emotions, understand each other's perspectives better, and just be thankful for the things you've experienced together.
So it's like building empathy.
Exactly.
And a family journal, it's like a
touchstone.
touchstone, yeah.
To look back on those memories together, those vacations, birthdays, holidays, it captures the events, but also the feelings that went with them.
Okay, so it's more than just a timeline.
Much more. It's about the emotional connection. And it's also a great way to celebrate the wins, big and small. It builds pride, as a family. And something I think is really special is that you can use a journal to preserve the wisdom and traditions that get passed down, like your grandma's recipe for apple pie, or the story of how your great-grandparents immigrated to this country.
Those are the things you don't want to lose.
Absolutely.
So it's about more than just a record. It's building a shared identity.
It is. It's like saying, this is who we are. And when you document your journey as a family, you create this sense of belonging. Even the tough times, it can be helpful to write about those too. It shows how you faced those challenges together. And, talking about Stallion again, they have these dashed lined pages, which I really like, because they give you this freedom to express yourself in different ways.
Oh, so?
Well, you can write down your thoughts, of course, but you can also doodle, draw little pictures, even tape and small mementos right next to your entries.
It's like a scrapbook, a journal, all in one.
Exactly. And those numbered pages and the table of contents, they make it so easy to go back and find those shared moments years down the line.
It's all about making it easy to access those memories.
Exactly.
It's great in theory, but I think it hits harder when you hear how it works in real life. Do you have any examples, from your own life or maybe someone you know that show how a family might really use a journal like this?
Yeah, definitely. My grandmother, she wasn't really into the whole journaling thing at first, but my aunt gave her a Listallian journal as a gift. And what really clicked for her were those numbered pages. She started using them to create her own little index at the front of the journal.
Like, what kind of things did she write?
Oh, things like the year we planted the apple tree or Sarah's graduation day. It became this cool guide to her memories. It made the whole thing feel less overwhelming.
It's like the journal gave her a framework.
Exactly. And a friend of mine, she's got young kids. And for them, the dash line pages have been amazing. Instead of it just being her writing all the time, her kids draw pictures right next to her entries about their day.
Oh, I love that.
Right. It's this collaborative project. You have the parents' perspective and the kids' artwork, all for the same event.
It makes it so much more special.
It does. And it makes it something they can all look back on together. Another thing, a few years ago, I was helping my parents clean out some old stuff, and we found a journal from my childhood. It wasn't a Listallian, but it really made me think about the quality of the journal itself.
What do you mean?
The pages were like brittle and yellowed, and some of the ink had faded. We could still read it, but it made me appreciate how Listallian really focuses on that archival quality paper. It's an investment in the future of your family's story.
It's like you're preserving the memories in the best way possible.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've talked about the why and the what. Let's talk about the how. How do you actually journal effectively? We've talked about prompts, but what are some other ways to do it?
Well, you can do daily entries, like we said before. That's great for capturing the day-to-day stuff.
The little things.
The little things, exactly. Or you can have themed sections in your journal, like a section for birthdays, a section for family traditions, a section for vacations.
Keep it organized.
Right. You could also write in a letter format, like you're writing to your future grandkids.
Oh, that's a cool idea. And what about, like, sparking creativity? How do you make journaling fun, not just a chore?
Don't be afraid to get visual. Photos, ticket stubs, kids' drawings, paste them right into the journal. It adds so much character. And things like colored pens, washi tape, little touches that make it your own.
So it's not all about words, it's about expression.
Exactly. And remember, make it a habit. Set a time, keep the journal visible. But the most important thing is to have fun. It should be enjoyable.
No pressure.
No pressure.
Okay, last question. What's the big payoff? What's the reward for putting in the effort?
The reward is that connection. Years from now, you can sit down with your family, open up the journal, and relive those moments. It strengthens those bonds between generations. It becomes this tangible piece of your family history. And going back to what we were talking about before, Listallian, they use those wood-free ivory pages so the ink won't fade and the paper won't fall apart. Your words, your memories, they're safe.
It's like you're creating a gift for the future.
You are. A gift for your family, for yourself.
So you listening, it's clear that a family memory journal, it's a powerful thing,
Yeah.
especially when it's well made, like the ones from Listallian.
Definitely. And those features, they make all the difference. The high quality paper, the sturdy covers, the way it's organized. Listallian, they get it.
They thought of everything.
They have. And it all comes down to this. They want to help you create these precious memories, these treasures that you can share and cherish for years to come.
It's about making it easy and enjoyable to hold on to those fleeting moments and turn them into something lasting. So think about it. What's one memory that you want to capture today? That one memory could be the start of something really special.
It could be.
It could be the beginning of your family's legacy.
Exactly.
Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.
Until next time.